shoot him anyway.
I don't know how long this is going to carry on. But you've all eaten, and after Nino's story about the plane and the crap, this isn't a patch on that story, but it's a true story. I'll just have to change a few names because we don't want to get anybody embarrassed. It's back in the 50s. It's Paul Roos School. Just for a matter of interest, that settler that came here, the forefather, 1700, married a woman by the name of Elizabeth Covey or Covette. And when he died, she married the man that became Paul Roos, or the man Paul Roos, that the school's named after him in Paul, married Elizabeth, the widow of Joseph Celia. So she's also the stamma or stammoeder that came through the Paul Roos line. Nevertheless, the story is also about Paul Roos, a guy by the name of Deon. Deon's an Afrikaner, and he doesn't really speak English well, but there's a girl in the school, I think Wellington Girls High, that really likes him, and he's the real hero of the school as far as the rugby goes. All my uncles went to Paul Roos, and the story comes back from way back then. So what happens was, he's the captain of the rugby team, and he's very shy, and the girls hit on him. He's got bakwoorde, he's the ugliest oak around. He can't speak English, but he will what? You know, he really battles. And the top girl has got family, royalty from Kenya, the Queen's friends and the Earls. And the day of the big rugby match, he gets invited to a manor house in Somerset West. It's near the Helderberg Girls High school there, a religious school. And Deon's nerves get the end of him. He can't go to the toilet. Eventually the rugby match comes, they play the match, he's the man of the match, and they get taken off to the manor house, and he's going to address the table. He can hardly speak English, he's nervous like hell, he hasn't gone to the toilet, the chick likes him, he doesn't know how to communicate with her, so they sit down to this fancy meal with real top dogs, and Deon's got to go. He's got to go. It's been a week. So he manages to, in his best English, excuse himself from the table. And, you know, everybody's sort of worried because, you know, we want to sit down. We're expecting a bit of a speech. I mean, after all, he's the man of the day. He scored the try. He's the champion. So he goes into the manor house and he manages to find his way through the house. Goes upstairs to the master bedroom, where Deon does number 2. It's the biggest one known to man. They say it was the size of his forearm. And it won't flush. He pokes it with a poker, because there's a fireplace. He flushes it, he's waiting to fill the cistern. They're starting to call, Deon, waar's jy? So he takes his hanky and he rolls it up. He puts it in his pocket. He goes downstairs with his blazer and he manages to say, "Ekskuus, kom nou," and he goes into the garden and he buries it. And as he got back to the table, ready to give the speech, the golden retriever brought it back to the table. But the problem was, it was a gifted hanky, and it had his initials on it. Deon never spoke another word. He never spoke to the girl again. He walked to Paul Roos, that's 30 miles, 20 miles. And that was the end of that. His friends were not allowed to discuss this ever, even to his dying day.